ASEAN at 50, partnering for change, engaging the world for science, technology, and innovation. This is really such a wonderful occasion to gather delegates from across member states of the ASEAN. So the Philippines is very fortunate to be granted the ASEAN chairmanship on the 50th year of ASEAN. And this meeting is in fact one of 275 meetings organized by the ASEAN at 50 committee.
I am deeply honored and excited to be here with you today to welcome all of you. I could say that today's event is our initiative in ASEAN, our humble contribution in celebrating ASEAN's 50th anniversary, which coincides with the Philippines ASEAN chairmanship. This is our way of showing our strong commitment to the visions and aspirations of ASEAN as a regional organization.
In January of 2017, we had the national launch of the Philippine chairmanship of ASEAN at the SMX convention in Davao City. The President keynoted the event and he spoke in full humility that the Philippines, as ASEAN chair, will remain steadfast in upholding the ideals and values we hold dear and will work for the realization of our shared aspirations. He added that the Philippines is committed to the building of a strong and resilient ASEAN community. He stated that the Philippines will actively promote and enhance ASEAN interests and well-being through policy, initiatives, coordination, consensus, and cooperation. Also, the Philippines will steer ASEAN toward the strengthening of relations and more meaningful constructive engagements with our dialogue partners. May we move on to the 2017 theme, Partnering for Change, Engaging the World. Inspired by this year's theme, Partnering for Change, Engaging the World, under the Philippine chairmanship, the President announced that he considers everyone as partners for change in pursuit of the following priorities: to place ASEAN peoples at the core, work for regional peace and stability, pursue maritime security and cooperation, advance inclusive innovation-led growth, strengthen ASEAN resiliency, and promote ASEAN as a model of regionalism and as a global player.
The topic that I'm going to present today is the role of science, technology, and innovation in enhancing food security. Can you hear me? Yes. Actually, today I prepared two topics, but I will mix it together to present today within 20 minutes, right? Next slide, please. Next, please. Yes. Before go to the presentation, I think everyone know already about the definition of food security, right? Actually, we are based on two organizations. The first one FAO, the second one is USDA. Food security exists when all people at all times have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient safe and nutritious food to meet their dietary needs and food preference for an active and healthy life that's given by FAO.
Good morning. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. The task that was given to me is to discuss the Philippine experience in attaining food security. And what I'm going to do is to briefly discuss the policies, framework, and action plan of ASEAN on food security and situate the Philippines as compared to other members of ASEAN. I'm also going to discuss the different challenges that the Philippines is facing in attaining food security and the different programs of government in order to address those. From the previous speaker, the food security was already defined. I just would like to emphasize that this particular definition is adopted by ASEAN Integrated Food Security Framework in 2009. And this particular definition is a product of very long discussion at the World Summit in 1996.
But I'd like to share with you the framework linking the food and the nutrition security. Next, please. As shown by this diagram, you'll find that in terms of the determinants of food security, it is focused on economic approach, whereby we look at the food system, market infrastructure, economic situation, and the like, towards coming up with a better utilization of food. Whereas, in terms of nutrition security, the determinants are focused more on biological approach. But towards this includes food access, care, hygiene, health status, and eventually utilization, leading towards better nutrition security or nutrition status.
So I'm happy to share with you my work in robotics, and hopefully you'll be inspired on that. So the robotic applications is really as a tool for humans, not really to replace human beings, because humans still do too many tasks that we ought not to do, and robots can be useful. Next, please. Working outside the factory in everyday lives, and that's unstructured. What do you mean by unstructured? Things are not where they're supposed to be. Not like in a manufacturing floor, there's a conveyor, workpieces are precisely located. Next, please. And why it makes it unstructured? Because of us. If you visit my office, you'll know. If you visit my lab, you'll know. If you visit my home, you'll really know how unstructured it is.
So we're about to enter the age of artificial intelligence. We are transitioning from the information age, where computers are everywhere and have transformed our daily lives and our societies, to an era where these machines can take over human tasks. So in this talk, I'm going to discuss the good, the bad, and the beautiful sides of artificial intelligence.
Industry 4.0 has the reputation of maybe becoming a huge job killer, replacing human labor by robots, by machines. And living and working in Vietnam, I'm thinking about the big sectors of manufacturing in Vietnam, and there are 2 million jobs only in footwear manufacturing in the south of Vietnam. This means we must ask ourselves the question, is this really a danger? Will this change our society?
Of what these evolving disruptive technologies are happening in artificial intelligence, it was very interesting to hear about the food technology, and of course Dr. Braun in Industry 4.0. So I'm here to give a different perspective. The perspective I give to you is of the business side of it. So I'm the one who actually implements all of these ideas, technology. I'm the one who has to deal with all of this disruption that is happening. So IMI, for those of you who don't know, is a Philippine company. It was founded 37 years ago. It was a contract manufacturer. It's the same thing that Dr. Braun talked about. And at its peak, in 2007, we employed 18,000 Filipinos working locally. In 2007, with a revenue of about $300 million. So this year, we'll probably finish at around $1 billion in revenue and employing about, I think, roughly around 5,000 Filipinos now.
The use of the satellite signal, sometimes we cannot use the satellite image, but we try to see something that human eye cannot see. We try to observe something that influence to the human, influence to the climate change, that human eye cannot observe it. So the outline for my talk today, I will spend about few minutes to introduce about my office, Chitra, and also I will talk about my experience in Thailand about the satellite application for in the various field. Next slide, please.
So our country, Philippines, is really a mega diverse country, over 2 million square kilometers of maritime waters, which encompasses an important part of what is called the Coral Triangle. Thousands of species of coral, many of which have well-established commercial value. Millions of species of flora have served as natural ingredients for products with many commercial applications. And so it's really a beautiful country. However, next slide. we are also beset by a lot of natural calamities and disasters. According to the UNISDR, the Philippines ranked as the 4th most disaster-prone country, with an average of 20 typhoons crossing the Philippine area of responsibility every year, and the country being geographically situated in the Pacific Ring of Fire. So volcanoes, earthquakes, typhoons, name it, the Philippines is a very active test bed for research.
I'm from the Center of Remote Sensing in Singapore. We actually receive satellite imagery a lot, and today I want to share with you a bit of the current and Earth observation satellites that I see happening around the world, and including the Diwata one which I hear just now. Okay, satellite is actually a very expensive business, and for a long time we only receive satellite data. We always have problem funding the satellite programs, and because previously satellites are very big and very expensive. And I'm also a fan of small satellites, so I will share that as I go on. So next please. So to look at the remote sensing satellite, the biggest brother is always the United States. They were the one that started this business. Okay, with the Landsat program. So this slide overview shows a bit of a snapshot of civilian remote sensing satellites. We have the next big player is France, the French with their Airbus sport systems, and Germany team up with France, and we have ESA. These three countries were actually providing us a lot of data for the past decade or so. And then later on we joined by Canada and Italy with the SAR data. And then our Asian people start to come in. We have India, Japan, and China with a lot of satellites.
Well, talking about geospatial technology, particularly LiDAR, if you look at the figure, it was, I think, compared a couple of years ago, well, globally, it's recorded about 270 billion USD. So if you look at alone in China, it can reach up to, well, I think more than 50, I think, for the last couple of years. And it involves about 23,000 organizations, companies in China alone. So it is a really huge industry, and of course, LiDAR is one of them. Next. So if you look at the global LiDAR market, size and forecasting from 2013 to up to 2020, if you look at the on the left side, up, you look at how they predict the market growing. At the lower part, it shows the Asia Pacific becoming one of the most attractive regions. And of course, talking about the application side, we got this corridor mapping, seismology, explorative, and as well as including disaster management. So I would like to address a bit on how we would like to use LiDAR, particularly airborne LiDAR, in the assessments of disaster risk.
So I'm here to talk about basically the same topic, similar topic as that of Dr. Raza, which is about LiDAR, but I will put it into context of its applications in the Philippines. As was mentioned earlier, there are many applications of LiDAR technology, and I'd like to present a specific case in the Philippines where we used it for purposes of hazard mapping, particularly floods, and then went on to use it for all other uses that are deemed feasible for this place. So the title of the talk talks about the legacy of the program, because we're set to end by the end of the year. We're still going to do some more activities, maybe hopefully after that. But basically, I'm going to highlight a few of the accomplishments that we have in the program.
I'm so delighted to be able to make it, even the last minute here, to deliver the closing remarks. ASEAN is close to my heart. I have served as the ASEAN COST chair for the Philippines for quite a long time, and I also did a study way back in 2010 together with another colleague from ASEAN on the state of science and technology development in ASEAN. And I'm happy that that study has been quite useful in the preparation of the ASEAN cost plans. I mentioned this because I find it relevant in the light of the celebration of ASEAN's 50th anniversary. ASEAN has shown remarkable progress since it was established in 1967. And it continues to live up to its aspirations of having one dream, one community, one ASEAN. Now we are at the threshold of a new transformative technological frontier where pilotless planes or driverless cars and drones are no longer science fiction. And we are now in the so-called fourth industrial revolution, which will usher in more complex interconnected innovations that will disrupt more businesses, communities, homes, and the way individuals think. The urgency to reinvent has risen as the next wave of inventions go mainstream. I'm happy to note that with today's discussions, we were able to achieve our main objective of showing you a glimpse of the future of technology. Our speakers were able to share where we are and what we have been doing in advanced science and technology and what we need to know about technologies of the future.
The future of ASEAN as an organization would, to a great extent, depend on how quickly it can adapt to these technologies given the different stages of development of the different ASEAN member states. However, let us not forget that like in all other organizations, people remain to be the most important asset. In ASEAN, we have 630 million people, most of them young, and this is a window of opportunity to boost our country's economic development, promising a potent demographic dividend. I think in the next ASEAN Committee on Science and Technology meeting, we are ready to launch the Declaration on Innovation by ASEAN. It's an ASEAN Declaration on Innovation. So let us hope for a more prosperous and robust ASEAN in the next 50 years. Thank you very much.